magnificence. Your soul is eternal, and it exists everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It is pure multi-dimensional energy. It is sacred energy beyond anything you could ever measure. The love part of your soul is what you feel and sense. And you have the ability to integrate your soul. And as we continue towards the circle of 12, let us affirm our willingness to connect with the God inside. I give myself permission to experience the grandness of my soul. I give myself permission to experience the grandness of my soul. I give myself permission to experience the grandness of my soul. I am ready.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon. Come closer. Come closer. I've said it many times, but that is an invitation for you to cast off any kind of a perception of who you are and how close you might be to the other side of the veil, or to that which is the creative source of the universe. Come closer. Come closer and discover that you are part of that creation, that is your core, that everything you experience in the dimensionality of your perception, the 3 or 4D that you live in, all of that is simply a temporary reality of your body while you're on earth. Indeed, today you have been exposed to a healer who works with the quantum area, who is into the mathematics of healing. This modern day mystic, as he calls himself, had an awareness where he got to see patterns. The patterns that he saw are the ones that we have discussed and talked about for more than 20 years. The patterns of physics that are multidimensional, that if you could see, would give away so much of what you can do that you don't even think you can do now. It was his beginning to see that even in the things you don't believe are perhaps spiritual, there is spiritual, wonderful spiritual, practical energy and knowledge in physics, in everything. Dear ones, you are absolutely related to everything that is multidimensional. We've told you that your very cellular structure is multidimensional. Even in this series, we have asked you to understand this. So there is more than you think, much more, to who you are. The quantum physicists, the ones who would not necessarily be watching this program, have also made very interesting discoveries that lead them to wonder if there's more. Perhaps they haven't had the kind of awakening of your guest today that you saw earlier, but they have their own kind of awakening in their own way as scientists. They have to question their reality. All quantum physicists have had to question their reality and ask the question, if this is everywhere and if we see things that can be in several places at one time, if we see things that void time and distance, entanglement, if we see these over and over as we study physics, why is it that we don't see them in our own lives? Is that an esoteric question? Is it a spiritual question? I'll tell you this, the question that may not be spiritual, but the answer is, all roads lead to the creative source. We've told you before, even in the universities where you study nature and physics, and these things are always separated, we have said, as though they didn't belong to one another. But they do, all of them. All roads will lead to the quantumness of your soul, of your own 3 or 4 dimensional biology, which is not. Your biology is multidimensional. We say these things so that you will not discount that which is perhaps mathematical. So I reveal yet again, the circle of 12 has to do with the mathematics of the universe. It has to do with the segmentation of creation being in 4s. The 12 represents a very, very profound mathematical staple, if you want to say, of all computation, because everything is in 4s. All creation, not just physics. We've told you before, it seems to be perhaps a coincidence that when you take a look at what you've discovered around your DNA, there's 4 base pairs. When you start to be looking out into the universe, you'll see everything divisible by 4. That has a wonderful, almost magical connotation to where you might go in the future, in inventions, in medicine, in all these things, because of this circle of 12. I want to move on. I want to move on to why you came. Every time you are here, we do the same meditation. It varies slightly, but we do the same one. We give you a little reminder at first, then we take you across the bridge. We want you to be cognizant, aware, that there's something different here with you than you grew up with. There's an energy on this planet right now, difficult to describe to you, which is starting to put light where there wasn't light before. What that does, dear ones, is to give an allowance of freer thinking of those who would think esoterically about your own existence. Did you get that? 50 years ago, you might not be as free. As free, and what I mean as free, I say the darkness would almost be like a ceiling or a cloud around you. You would not be able to think esoterically above that cloud. It would be harder. An awakening that some of you have had would be harder. But suddenly, it's not as hard, because this light-dark balance has been changing ever since 2012, and that's why we started this program after 2012, and that is why we said that this is the reason Kryon came, to make you aware of something you were not aware of, and that is that you have a magnificence which is hiding. The magnificence is in that which is your soul, which all humans have. That soul which is endless and beginningless, that soul which is multidimensional, is you. And everything else you have is only a piece of you. And that's where you live, in a piece of you. This is a discovery about you. We also told you that in the discovery, in the awakening that you might have, healing simply comes along. Kryon, what do you mean by that? I mean by that the more you awaken to these things, the easier the healing. You might even have healing that you didn't plan on having simply because you woke up. So let's wake up together to something. This bridge that we take you across every time is still there. It's there every time. It's a bridge which represents going from the known to the unknown, going from who you think you are to who you really are. It's a bridge that is safe to cross, but difficult for some. Because some are so into the survival that they've known as 4 dimensions, they don't want to cross it. But we're going to cross it. We always do. And the invitation at this point in time, with the number of programs we've done, is this: don't cross it alone. How many do you think are listening to this? And I don't mean right now. I mean all through the future. These words, this particular program, this episode, will be played over and over and over and over and over. Some may even see it who are not born yet. And they will have the chance to have an awakening and cross the bridge. How many do you think? Put them all together in the now we talk about that's so difficult for you to envision. Put them all together. Suspend time. They're all there. Everyone who will ever watch it is there. Now I want you to take your hands together and help each other to walk through this mist. Even though it might seem unusual, there's something for you to see. There's something I want you to see. Please, it's safe. It's an exposure of who you are, who you always have been, how you got here, and how many you are. Cross the bridge with me right now. All of you, so many of you, I speak one soul. I speak to one soul at a time, yours. If you suspend time, you could meet everyone in a stadium of 80,000 people. You say, well, that'll take a long time. It doesn't matter because you suspended it. Let's say the clock stops. And every single one of you, you shake hands because that's what you understand, the linear of it. That's what you know, the linear of it, one at a time. You make one phone call at a time. Your mass media, especially the social, gives you a kind of an idea what it might be like to open a door and talk to thousands at a time. It's like that. So I talk to one of you, and yet I'm talking to thousands at a time. And I'm saying, welcome to a magnificent place, a place that hasn't changed since the creative source made it. Your soul, beautiful, unchanging, magnificent, splendorous, filled with colors you've never seen before and light that is huge and enormous. All frequencies of light, even the ones you cannot measure, are here. And you can hear them. And the music that plays in light talks about you and your name. That's where you are. Can you even visualize such a thing or a place? And the answer, not really. Not really. So visualize that which is the best music you've ever heard, that made you feel the best you've ever felt, and that would be a beginning. I don't have to play it for you. It's already in there, dear ones. Imagine the healing you came for as already having happened, and the joy and the laughter because of it. When you walk away and you say, I'm clean, I don't fear, I have no anxiety, I don't have a disease. All of these things are there. They're already there. Walk with me. Slowly, if you wish, take your time, go through that door that we always take you through, a little portal. It's a metaphor for the entrance to another energy, and that energy is going to be this little theater we take you to every time. A theater in the round, for those of you who are just beginning. A theater in the round that is sunken, so you must go down into it to either view the stage or beyond the stage. And each one of you, right now, all of you, one at a time, are going to be on the stage, so come with me. It's interesting who's in the audience. You don't recognize any of them. They're just people. They're people like you. Some of you don't want to hear that. You say, well, I'd feel a little better if I knew them. Yes, you would. Because you might have like stage fright, they say. Very real. So come with me. It's a safe place. Climb up the stairs to the stage where they all see you. This time, there's no chair. How about that? Uh-oh. Well, of course, you know they're not going to wash your feet because there's no chair. You're going to stand. And then I want you to introduce yourself to an audience you don't know, but came to see you. And I'll tell you why they came to see you. Because you are the best comedian they have ever heard. And no matter what you do or what you say is going to meet with uproarious laughter. And they're going to clap their hands and they're going to be crying with laughter. Have you ever, dear ones, been in a situation where you told a wonderful, wonderful joke and everyone just laughed and they looked at you and that was like, this is really good. Tell us more. Do something else. You may not think of yourself that way. Right now, I want you to think of yourself as the center of laughter. Everyone is laughing at everything you're saying because they're with you and they think you're hilarious and you're funny. Continue. Can you imagine that? Such acceptance, such laughter, such a beautiful feeling when you say a few things and everyone laughs. You don't have to make up jokes, dear ones. Just tell them who you are. They're not laughing at you, they're laughing with you because they are joyful for all that you are. Can you imagine such a thing? Acceptance. Say something else, and they're laughing with you and having a wonderful time. Think of the fun things that have happened in your life. Tell a few stories that you think are cute and funny about yourself. Go ahead. And they will also think it's fun. And they don't know the characters like you do, but it doesn't matter. On this stage, you are the comedy king and queen of all things. They've never experienced anyone who's more humorous and more witty and could tell better stories than you today. Stand up, don't sit down, and deliver the things in your life that you think are fun and beautiful that have happened with you, your children, just in general. You've all got these stories. And watch this stadium erupt in laughter and feel the acceptance of all of it. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. There's a reason for this. Because this then paves the road for the healing you came for. Because when you laugh and they laugh, everything changes in your body. Are you ready for it? Claim it. I'm healed today because I can laugh at all things and join the joy of creation. That's who you are. Stay. Stay. Tell more stories. Think of them. Stay. Stay and be healed. And so it is.